The mournful roar of a lion echoed throughout the cat enclosure on one of those quiet nights smack in the heart of a suburban zoo. The air was crisp, and the delicate wind bit into the calm of the serene space. Two large males, very different in their apparent demeanor, kept each other's company. Their pace was no longer emulating one another, but rather their movement was contradicting the power of one to the other. The primal instincts held firm throughout the night's turmoil. A heightened awareness of the struggle his brother was undergoing had the larger lion pacing the edge of the cliff, fighting his own will to correct the natural order. Nevertheless, the lion held firmly to his life's companion, fighting the grief of an approaching loss. He walked the edge of the drop, stood for a moment to listen, and turned again and again, repeating the movement like a wind-up clock. His brother paced closer to the rocky exhibit. His steps were slower, and his breath was ragged, but he mimicked his brother as closely as he could, with few ungainly drops to the frozen ground in between the turns. A dark figure entered the lion's den. His long wavy hair danced in the cool breeze of the shadowy night. The energy of the newcomer was electrifying the artistically sculpted mounds of the exhibit. The brothers sensed his presence and wandered toward him. He crouched in front of them and allowed the weaker one to nuzzle him in greeting. His brother watched the man with spindly movement of gray dragons embroidered in his black shirt embrace the lion whose heart beat with an added pause. Calm filled the area. Strong fate merged the three souls. The wind picked up its dance in the cooling night, and the sounds of the zoo stopped in its track. Not a creature stirred to break the silence that ensued. The lion's mane bobbed. The stranger's hair rose toward the night like striking vipers of Medusa, and yet no sound came from the bodies of the three or the area around. In that moment of peace, the strong lion nudged his dying brother with his nose. The other's breath was now shallower, gurgling with added moisture. The stronger lion dropped down next to the stranger, still cradling his silent companion in his arms. Time got lost in a vacuum as the three bodies held on to each other. The very serene scene got arrested in the moonlight's embrace, filtering through the trees in the outdoor compound as the mournful roar of a lion got trapped in his loss. The break in the silence was all-consuming. The roar vibrated throughout the zoo, opening the sound gates to all the creatures within. Screeching of the monkeys and the guttural moans soon joined the chorus. The vibration of the sounds could be felt in the houses that stood close to the zoo. A tall man, wearing a black shirt with gray embroidered dragons, passed through the locked gates of the zoo. As he walked toward the wooded area across the empty lane, a beautiful lion with his head held high walked right next to him, away from the soulful roar of his grieving companion. Thank you for listening, and all the best from Twisted Fairy Art.